Hi, I'm Anthony from ComicsEatingUp.net. I'm back with Terry Hockness doing our weekly spec picks. We're getting the videos out early. I think the one thing that people keep asking for is, can we get these videos out early? And yes, we can. We're going to do that. We're going to start releasing them over the weekend, give more people time to look at books and think about it. So this is our video series where we look at the new books coming out each week, give thumbs up or thumbs down on the books that we think are going to be the spec hits. This week was definitely an interesting week. We had two real winners. The first one was the 1 in 50 Deadpool number 25 Mark Brooks variant. That one shot up. It's well over $100 right now. That was a good pick. We had that on our Melvy's variant pick of the weeks. That one, I'm glad I listened to him. I'll just put it that way because I have a copy up on eBay right now. The other winner is We Can Never Go Home number 1. News kind of broke that We Can Never Go Home is going to be optioned into a TV show. Now's the time to be selling as opposed to buying, but if you can find cheap copies, because there are cheap copies still out there, by all means grab one. It still could be a good flip. So Terry, let's get into this week's comics.
Here's all the new comic books for the week of February 1st, 2017. A lot of great picks this week. Let's get into them. Aftershock Comics gives us Blood Blister, a brand new series. Tony Harris did the cover art. $3.99. There is a ratio variant. Aftershocks had a lot of buzz. They're not always a guaranteed hit, but I think this is worth the gamble, so we'll give this a thumbs up.
Blood Blister number 1 from Aftershock Comic definitely looks good. The cover art has been pretty cool. The story follows Brandon Hull, who's kind of a morally corrupt guy who starts showing his sin, if you will, on his body, on his face, and all. Aftershock has been putting out some really good books, so I'm going to give this one a thumbs up.
Boom Studios gives us Planet of the Apes Green Lantern number 1. This is a 6-issue miniseries, one of the most interesting team-ups ever in comic book history. You may know that I ran the Planet of the Apes fan club from 1991 into the 2000s, so a 20-year run, so I have a lot of personal interest in this series. It's very cool, very odd. I think the print run will probably be high enough that it won't be a surprise hit, though a lot of team-ups like this usually do go to second printing, so it could be a surprise hit. There is a bunch of variant covers that really look cool, including the first ape action figure variant, so that one I like.
Planet of the Apes Green Lantern. This is one of those weird crossovers, and I do like quirky, weird crossovers. However, I don't know how well this one's going to work. I can say there's an action figure cover featuring Cornelius as a Green Lantern, an Amigo-style action figure cover. I'm not huge on the action figure covers, but this one's kind of cool, especially the crossover of Cornelius being a Green Lantern. So I'm going to give it a thumbs down as a spec pick, but as a spec pick, this is a thumbs down.
Caliber Entertainment gives us the Dead World coloring book. It's a soft cover at $9.99. This might not heat up, as coloring books don't usually, but could be surprised if the print run lands up being small.
Caliber Entertainment gives us the Dead World coloring book. I don't know how well the adult coloring fad has crossed over into the comic book world. One thing I can say is if people do buy it and color it, they're taking books out of the market. However, and even though I love the Dead World series going way back, Vincent Locke, I just loved his work, I can't see this as being a spec pick. I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
Dark Horse Comics has a new miniseries called Baltimore, the Red Kingdom, number 1. Dark Horse always overprints their books, so unless there's massive hype, there's no way this is going to sell out and heat up. So this is a thumbs down for me.
Dark Horse is Baltimore, the Red King. I love the Baltimore series. I like pretty much anything out of the Mike Mignola-verse. However, they're not huge spec picks. These are kind of the ones that you just, you grab, you read, you put them in your back issue bin for a while, and they can appreciate in price. However, Baltimore's been around for a while, so I'm going to give this one a thumbs down.
Dynamite Entertainment relaunches Vampirella with a new number 0. It's a 25-cent cover price. So a lot of people will be buying this. Of course, print run will be a lot higher than normal due to that, so I don't think this will heat up. And of course, Vampirella's already had hundreds of appearances.
Vampirella 0 is another one of the 25-cent books coming out from Dynamite. I believe there is a J. Scott Campbell cover. One of the ratio variants on this is also a Joseph Michael Lisner cover. He's got a good following. He shows up at a lot of cons. It might not be a bad book to grab, get signed, and get it graded. But other than that, it's 25 cents. What do you have to lose? Just on the price point alone, grab a couple, throw them in your long box. Just let them sit. If they're $1, you quadruple your money. I'll give this one a thumbs up.
Will Eisner's The Spirit, the Corpse Makers is a 5-issue miniseries. Frank Avila did the cover art for this one. Again, a very popular classic character from the 1940s, but not likely going to heat up.
Will Eisner's The Spirit, the Corpse Maker, number 1, is out this week. The Spirit's been around for a long time. At one point, he's been through 5, 6 different publishers. I know he is with Eerie and Creepy magazine at one time. There was a Spirit magazine that came out as well. I just don't see the fans going crazy for this one. I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
Image Comics debuts a new miniseries. Planetoid Praxis will run for 6 issues, $3.99 cover. Image books have been selling out, but I don't usually recommend Image miniseries to speculate on.
Image Comics gives us Planetoid Praxis #1. This is a Planetoid miniseries that focuses on one of the characters in the series. Planetoid never really took off that well. I just don't see it doing anything. Image has been on a clip lately with a lot of hot books. However, I don't think this is going to be one of them. I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
And Walking Dead 163, there's a 25-cent cover. This is the first time they've done that with Walking Dead. So the print run is going to be massive high. It will be the best-selling comic of possibly the year in terms of print run quantity. So will it heat up? Well, I'm going to say no, but it is The Walking Dead. I could see a lot of retailers definitely charging a couple bucks for this, which is a good profit margin. However, I don't recommend buying a book for $0.25 to sell it for $1 or $2, because it's really not worth your time. There is, however, some rare ratio variants they're doing for this book, and these are going to be extremely popular. And while, yes, retailers will be able to afford them fairly easily due to the low cost, but still, most retailers aren't going to bother because they go, what do I want to order hundreds of copies of the regular? So I still see a sellout for the ratio variants, but my prediction is that they're going to start with a really high price online and then eventually cool down, and then maybe a year or two down the road they'll heat up and go back up again.
Walking Dead #163 is another 25-cent book. There are some really cool variants that they had announced later on. These are ratio variants that you have to order 200 copies or 500 copies to get them. I've got a set on hold, so I'm very excited about this. Not to mention it's The Walking Dead. Buy 8 of them. It's going to cost you $2 at the 25-cent cover, or buy 500 of them and give them away on Halloween or something. Get the variants. But needless to say, this is going to be a good book. 25 cents is going to have a huge print run. It's probably going to be the #1 book for February. But it's still a thumbs up for me.
Marvel Comics has another big week. All new X-Men #1, Monsters Unleashed, $4.99 cover. Well, could be a fun tie-in, but I'm not going to speculate on it.
Marvel continues the Monsters Unlimited crossover with all new X-Men #1, Monsters U. And unfortunately, it's not going to be the fun Disney movie. This is a pass for me. Again, these multi-part crossovers with the one-shots that go along with them, it just seems like a cash grab. These are the kind of books that I think people are really getting tired of. Definitely thumbs down.
Bullseye is a new 5-issue mini-series. Dave Johnson did the regular cover. $4.99 cover. There's a bunch of variant covers on this. Watch out for the rarest ones.
Bullseye #1. This could go either way. I'm leaning towards giving it a thumbs up. I do like Bullseye as a character. He was done poorly in the Daredevil movie. And then, that incarnation of Daredevil was in the comics for a while. They're bringing him back to the classic suit. If done right and ultra-violent, this could be a good book. I'm going to give it a 50-50, just because we got to see how it plays out. But I do like Bullseye, and I'm going to be picking up this book myself.
Star Wars Darth Maul is a 5-issue miniseries, $4.99 cover, and a ton of variant covers for this, and yes, some very cool ones. But I wouldn't touch these as a speculator.
Star Wars Darth Maul #1. This is the big book from Marvel for me. They've done fantastic things with the Star Wars franchise since they've got it back. They've expanded it more. Darth Maul is one of the most underrated characters. However, he had the one of the best visual appearance for a character that's been introduced in a long time. That red and black, tattooed skin, the horns, the dual lightsaber. I can't wait to see him. So this is a thumbs up for me.
And True Believers, Wolverine vs. Hulk #1. This is a $1 reprint, and it reprints the classic Incredible Hulk 181, the first appearance of Wolverine back from 1974. This is going to be an eternal long popular selling book. It's very affordable, and print run won't be too high at Marvel. That over the years, this will be a popular one that you can afford to buy. So I'd recommend this one for sure.
True Believers Wolverine vs. Hulk #1. It's a $1 book. It reprints Hulk 181, and it's $1. You can't beat that. The previous reprint of Hulk 180 and 181 that came out quite a few, maybe in the early 90s, it does well in the secondary market. This is one of those books that you can grab a bunch of copies of, list them on Amazon, list them on eBay. They will sell. It's not going to be a $100 book. It's not going to be a $50 book. It's not going to be a $20 book. But this one could turn out to be a solid $10 book. And, 10 times your money any day is a good thing. I'm going to give this one a thumbs up.
Oni Press also gets into the dollar edition market this week with a whole bunch of them. The highlight is Invader Zim #1, the $1 edition. So yes, you can get the latest printing of Invader Zim #1 for only $1. Do I think this is a good speculator pick? Not really. Oni Press is pretty smart with this title. They always make sure it's in print. They print a lot extras, make sure that retailers can always get them.
Invader Zim #1 dollar edition. Invader Zim, even though he's not on TV anymore other than reruns, still has a huge fan base. However, the regular copies are still out there, and they're not super expensive, so I can't see the dollar edition being a good buy for a flip. It's a good buy for a read if you want to check out the series. However, as a flipper, it's probably not going to make it up to what, let's say, the Wolverine Incredible Hulk one will. Titan
Entertainment Group gives us Assassin's Creed Uprising #1. Alex Ronald did the cover, $3.99, bunch of variant covers. Buzz and tie-in with this one. So this one has a little bit of potential.
Assassin's Creed Uprising #1. It is directly tied to a video game, which is definitely a good thing. However, I haven't seen a lot of these books that are directly tied to a video game heat up in a while. This one's a pass. I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
And Zenescope Entertainment has Grim Fairy Tales presents Day of the Dead #1. This 6-issue miniseries. Alan Otera cover for cover A. Bunch of variant covers. Zenescope regular covers don't usually heat up, but they could be a fun read. The art's usually pretty nice, but I'll give it a thumbs down.
Grim Fairy Tales presents Day of the Dead #1. Again, Grim Fairy Tale books are hit or miss. If the covers are decent, they'll sell well, but it's normally the convention covers and the exclusive variants that sell well. The regular covers, they're a skip for me. I'm going to give it a thumbs down. But if your store happens to get one of the higher ratio variants or a surprise variant or a con variant on this book, by all means grab it. That'll probably be a good flip. But for the most part, no, this is a pass. Thumbs down.
All right, well, thanks for watching, and leave us some comments on your thoughts. Did we miss anything? Do you agree with us? And we thank you for watching every week. We'll see you next week.